as you close off the tap, then it'll affect this side. And then if that side clogs up for some reason, or if you shut the tap too much, then this one's your safety, so it'll go down there. So you can't go too wrong. But if you play with the tap, you should find that you'll be able to find a very quiet position. But it's going to take time. You're not going to get it right. Yeah. So in that first filter sock there, I've just rolled up some polyfilter and put it in the bottom. And over months, this polyfilter will turn black. So chuck it out and put a new piece in. Now there's another filter sock there that is in there. If you wanted to add some polyfilter in there, you totally can. But that's all looking very good at this stage. Now having the polyfilter in there means that you could probably go for weeks, if not months, without touching it. And you'll just find that everything works fine. There you go, fishies, you're all looking good. Mr. Anemone's sitting there for now. So getting some extra sand sifting stars, and you've already got stroms, so just keeping that sand clean when you're doing your water changes is good. Surface agitation is good. Lights going, rock decoration looks cool. Skimmers are working. The pump's been all sorted out. Biological media is good. We've given the pump a bit of a spring clean, the sump a spring clean. We've cleaned the impeller on the pump. We have put the heater down there because we don't want to see the heater in the tank for no reason. We've turned up the power head because I always want the power heads aiming up, because what I really want is the maximum surface agitation in order to aerate and circulate your water. Then I just need to give this tank, I'd probably give it a couple of weeks, and then you could consider putting more coral in the tank. And then let's say in a month or so, you can consider getting some more fish. Setting up a quarantine tank or a quarantine tray is a really great idea. Now, in saying that, when you've only got a few fish, your risk is actually quite low. As you get more fish, especially if you get a lot of money's worth of fish, suddenly your risk gets really high. So often you get disease when you put your last fish in. Because I have a lot of customers, and they're like, I don't want a quarantine tank, I don't have room or whatever, and they don't get a quarantine tank. And they add some fish and they're fine, and a month later they drop their salt level, and then they chuck some fish in and they're fine. And then they do it again next month, everything's fine. And then eventually, it's usually the very last fish, the one that they probably shouldn't have bought anyway. And it's usually the most expensive fish, their favourite fish, the one they're stinging out for. And we're now about 6 to 12 months down the track.
Oh, shit.
And you finally buy your favourite fish. And then you're up with white spot and they all die. And they all die.
On my back. Okay.
So providing that you don't break the 1 month rule, and providing that you put the fish in at lower salinity, or preferably quarantine, then your chance of white spot is much lower. It's never impossible. And now what white spot is if you see the fish flicking and scratching and carrying on, then let me know straight away, because then we're going to teach you how to fix it. How to fix it is usually we want to put them in a freshwater bath, because the parasites hate the fresh water, or we want to quarantine them with a medication. Because the real medications that actually work, you can't put them in a coral tank. So that's another value for having a quarantine tank. I've got quite a lot of customers that have got really big fancy reef tanks, and I've convinced them to get a quarantine tank, and then they've set their whole tank up, everything's going great, and then I tell them, hey, go get that quarantine tank and put it away in the cupboard, and then if you need it, you can pull it out, and then you can set it up, drop the salt level, put the fish in there and medicate them, and everyone will be fine. And then a couple of years down the track, their quarantine tank ends up, yeah, your little snail, yeah. Then they give their quarantine tank to little Johnny, or they set it up, or they do something so they've no longer got a quarantine tank, and then suddenly they get a disease and they need it. So a funny thing about aquariums, if you've got a spare heater, you'll never need it. If you have a spare water pump, you'll never need it.
Until you do.
If you've got a quarantine tank, you'll never need it. But it's amazing how many customers suddenly they don't have it because they've set up another tank or they've given it to little Johnny or whatever, and then boom, 2 weeks later they need it. So I don't know how that works. One thing I really love to do is a little bit of check of the cupboard check of the various stuff that's in the cupboard. Now, if you had lots of coral, then I'm very happy with this. Because you don't have much coral, if you used a tiny little bit of this a couple of times a week, I'd be happy. But don't go chucking heaps in because there's not much in there to eat it. So take it easy on that. Now you've got some bacteria supplement that's not left. I wouldn't bother getting any more at this stage, but if you ever got ammonia and nitrite, it's a good thing. I tend to prefer these products in the fridge once you open it. You've run out, so I probably wouldn't bother with getting any new stuff. Now, fish food. Fish keeping is 50% water quality, which if you bring us a sample of water in a video, every now and then we can help you monitor that, and it's 50% food quality. Now, I am very biased to fish food because I spend a lot of my life going to people's houses, and it is very common that I go to someone's house and the fish look great, and I test the water and it's terrible. And I look in the cupboard and I find good quality fish food. I can very often go to the very next house. All the fish are dying. I test the water. It's much better than the last house, but all the fish are dying. And then I check the cupboard and sure enough, the food's not as good. So, I am very biased to fish food. Now this is something else that I love. I think that every aquarium needs one of these things. I think that they make your life so much better. I would definitely have one. It's better too when you're storing it, to store it like that.
Oh.
Just keep that out of the water because it might last slightly longer.
Oh, that is so logical, yep.
Now we've got a thermometer, which I'm very happy to see. So that's saying 25 degrees, which I'm 25, 26. I'm very happy with that.
Okay, good.
And so your thermometer tells you the temperature, whereas your heater sets the temperature. The heater has a thermostat, which sets it, and that's a thermometer which tells you it. They're not the same thing.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen now is if we slowly turn that valve off, shut the valve, this level is going to go up. If we open the valve, that level is going to go down. We really want the white froth staying in the neck and the yellow froth coming out of the neck. Now, trying to do this in one setting is pretty much a waste of time because it needs to settle. So, adjust it, wait an hour, adjust it, wait an hour, adjust it, wait an hour, until the white froth staying in and the yellow froth is staying out, and be patient. So now that it is fully topped up, that is what, so let's say the top of this is what we're calling, it doesn't have to be to the millimetre, but let's say the top of that is what we're calling our on level. So the water's just going to nip over there.
Right.
And then if you turn the pump off, it's going to go up. So right now that looks like about where it's set for. So if you're ever playing around with it yourself and you fill it up to there while it's on, then that's pretty well right. If you fill it up to here while it's on, then it could come out.
So how much do we know? Can we calculate, or actually do we know? Just turn the pump off and
Yes.
we'll know where the level rises.
Yeah, it'll probably be like just a couple of centimetres.
Oh, is that all? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you've got plenty to deal with.
Okay, great.
And I want as much water in the summer as we can, but it's got to all be working. So,
And the levels don't have to be different? Like I shouldn't have a lower level here.
okay,
and a
so
lower
what
level
sort of happens is the water comes in the back there,
here?
then it goes down through the socks,
Yeah.
then it comes into this section, and then what sort of is meant to happen is it sort of goes that way, but there's only a couple of baffles anyway, so it doesn't really do anything. So, so the idea with the baffles is, so if you had lots of baffles, so you could actually create it so it goes down, but ultimately we don't really need that, and this baffle is not fully waterproof anyway, so it's always going to level
That's
out.
all- Okay, that actually when you said that, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
If they were glued in,
Yeah.
then the baffles are going to have a set level, but they don't because, yeah, it's not glued in. I'll just hang it on that way for some reason.
Oh, so it doesn't matter if that's out of the
No,
water.
not at all.
Okay.
Now let's shut the thing and see how much noise it's making. Because the more agitation down there, actually the more oxygen, the better it is.
Okay.
Now, these doors are
Yeah.
getting a bit
It is
waterlogged.
going to get relocated, this tank,
Yeah. Okay.
which is going to be our next fun project.